Welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits, coming to you from weather out of this recycle garage in Santa Cruz, California.
Blub, blub.
So now we'll bring the weather back into it. You know what? I think this is the payback for all the times we brag about our beautiful, amazing, sunny weather.
I'm over it.
Yeah, it keeps it coming.
Oh, it's just
Over it.
coming. It's just coming. So, hey, everyone. This is Liza. And we're shy one person today because the Highway 1 is underwater. And so Emma couldn't get to us, unfortunately. I mean, this is, I don't know the last time
She
this
swam
has
halfway
happened.
and then fell like she didn't go back.
Marina, California is becoming a marina.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're fine here at the garage. Actually, all the work I did earlier this year to dig the trenches, we've had no flooding in the garage. We're good. So, but there are other people not so well off. In fact, running the board tonight is Stumpy John, who's of the mountain people. John, how's it up in the mountains?
It's wet. It's really wet.
You still have the roads blocked up there, right?
Yeah, there's a part of Highway 9 is still blocked off. So there's a detour.
Yeah. Well,
So I have a poem for you.
Oh, okay.
I have a poem. I asked my friend ChatGPT to create a poem for me.
Oh, okay.
And this is what she came up with, or he came up with. Stumpy John, a man of might, rides his bike into the night. Tall and proud, he takes the lead. On his motorcycle, he's free indeed. His legs may be short, but his spirit's tall. On his motorcycle, he stands above all. Riding with power, grace, and speed, Stumpy John is the biker we all need. So if you see him riding strong, don't be fooled by his legs so long. For it's his heart that makes him tall. Stumpy John, the rider of them all.
Nice.
Wow.
So was that AI generated?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I don't think a human could have embellished that.
I feel really built up right now. My self-confidence is much higher.
Chills.
Well, and speaking of, going around roadblocks, we got joining us, coming across California to be here today. We got Tom Medema with us, and you had to take a long way here.
We had to take the long way around. Yes, the Gilroy. Where else was Watsonville flooded out? Roads closed.
Was it 101 in Gilroy? Is that where the flooding was?
So
or was it?
That was one of the places.
Okay.
The entire town of Watsonville is underwater. Downtown.
Wow.
Yeah, and
So-
Sucker Pass is closed.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did the northern loop from Mariposa up north to San Jose and back down. So
Yeah, when Highway 17 is your better option, that's not a good sign, man.
that's right.
But thank you for showing up, man.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, I was reflecting that 3 years ago, the challenge to get here was quite different.
Exactly. You were here 3 years ago. You were our last in-person guest before we shut down the studio for
down.
COVID.
That was this weekend,
And I
3
remember
years ago.
we really didn't know what was going on, but we all kind of looked at each other like, should we be here in a room
It was
together?
so uneasy. It was so uneasy. We had just finished as a car, and we're dining together as a car, 200-300 of us, right? And we're washing our hands like crazy, but not a mask in sight. That wasn't just the thing yet, right? And then down here, we were just tiptoeing around, like not sure what to do. We did it anyway. And then boom, the next day, San Francisco shut down, and we all went home, and things
Never
changed.
left for 2 years.
Yeah, I know. Forever changed. But not the last time I saw you.
That's right.
Saw you last year at Americade.
That's right. Up in beautiful Lake George, New York.
Yeah.
Good times up there, for
that
sure.
was fun.
It was.
Well, let's get to who else weathered the storm to get here. We've got Craig.
I licked it, so it's mine.
Oh, are you talking about this gummy right here?
That's the giant juice.
Tom, would you like a gummy?
No,
they
thank
were sent
you.
in from a listener of ours.
Thank you. Did he lick it?
They're very good. And then going around the room, we've got Naked Jim.
Yes, I also have a bot-generated poem about myself, as you
Really?
can see. Yes.
Really?
There once was a man from Nantucket who carried his balls in a bucket. I'll just leave it at that. Hey, what's happening? Glad to be here.
Oh, and let's not forget everyone's favorite ginger. It's Bagel.
Howdy from the very damp Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. So, we're getting hammered. It's not as bad.
By the weather.
by the weather. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to say that the national news is making it out to be worse than it is. Not everybody is affected, but there are places nearby. We have friends live up Main Street in Aptos who are stranded. Their road is gone, and there's a whole neighborhood up there stranded.
Yeah, that's been on the news.
Whoa.
That's why everybody's calling. Is everything okay?
People catching large fish in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is going on, but for most of us, like Jim and I live here downtown, we're fine. We're good. So I think the hardest thing has been most of us haven't ridden our bikes in a long time. And that's what's getting hard. We're not used to this.
Yeah.
And so, yes, there you go. For all the people who deal with winter and can't ride their bikes, we're feeling your pain now. I can sympathize with you.
You think one of our listeners like hexed us or something? Since listening to us riding all the way around?
Oh, no. It's,
Like, we're gonna get
we've
those
been
guys.
complaining about the drought and asking for water, and too many people asked at the same time, I think.
That's
I mean,
right.
we
Here
got
it
what
is.
we asked for. Yeah, exactly. So, but because of the weather and because of these storms, big announcement, we've had to postpone our rally. Yeah, which was supposed to be in a few weeks. And we just know from really from the storm like 2 months ago, Hollister Hills was just recovering.
Yeah, there was like probably half of it was still closed a couple of weeks
Yeah.
ago before these storms came through.
And with all these storms, we knew that Hollister Hills, won't be recovered. It's going to be muddy, not fun. It's not going to be a safe and fun event, even though you can go ride the roads, even if it's not raining. But we want to have a good event. So we have postponed it. It is now going to be April 21 to 24, I think.
That sounds about right.
April 21 to 24. So apologies to people who had signed up for it if you can't make it. But I think overall this is going to make a better event. And poor Eric, he was flying in.
Oh,
Eric, I hope you can change your flight and come
still
down.
come down, Eric. We hang.
But yeah, if you're coming in, we'll do something fun with you. So yeah, but the other good news is now this gives us more time to get more people signed up for the rally. We've still got some spots, and we're got a lot of really cool events. We're having Jonathan was here at the garage today, and he's doing our first aid class for us, and he was talking about doing rappelling a motorcycle off a cliff class or something?
Hillside motorcycle cliff rescue. So we're
Yeah.
adding events every time. So not only is the stacked roster, but it's growing. So if anyone wants to sign up and was hesitating, now you can come in April for it.
That sounds like a class
steep
Tom needs to
incline,
take.
Steep incline recovery.
I think that's something I could probably relate to a little bit better. I was going to ask. I noticed the Naked Rally happened recently.
Yeah, you missed it.
I wasn't here for that.
Yeah,
but
they were all
I
here.
noticed that didn't get canceled.
No.
It takes something for that to get canceled. We'll have it again next year. We'll see you then. Come on out.
All right. Good.
Yeah. So, hey, go to breakingawaytrips.com and you can click on the Misfits Rally and come out and join us. So, let's see. So you were here March of 2020 and you were talking about Rally for Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
For people who don't know, tell everyone what Rally for Rangers is.
Rally for Rangers is adventure philanthropy. That's what it is. We are in the business of recruiting adventure riders from all over the world, and we collect. So to date, anyway, 15 at a time, people that volunteer, they raise money. We travel to the country that's hosting us, Mongolia, Nepal, Peru, Bhutan, wherever it happens to be. We pick up 15 motorcycles that we've all raised money for and purchased in country. We hop on those bikes and we ride them for 10 days with the park rangers of the country we're in, seeing the parks of that country. And at the end of those 10 days, we get together with the rangers and we donate those 15 motorcycles to those national park rangers in that country so they can better combat poaching and deal with all the other things that rangers have to deal with around the world. We know that rangers worldwide are under-resourced. They're killed in large numbers, 1,000 a year.
Crazy.
And so they
Wait,
don't have what they need.
1,000 rangers are killed every year?
A year.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah. worldwide.
Wow.
And so we just want to get them the tools to help, and we all know the story, the plight of, the elephant and the snow leopard and the tiger and the rhino, but there's so many things beyond that, of course, that rangers do and have to do. So we get the adventure, they get the motorcycle, and everybody does individual fundraising to do it. Everybody volunteers to do it, take a couple weeks off of work, or, when we all fly overseas, pick up the bikes and have the adventure and make an impact that way. And so it's been going since 2014. It's hard to believe now, 170 some odd bikes donated in 7 different countries, I think now. And it just started as a small project in Mongolia that has just taken off. And we're looking this year actually to launch something here in the U.S.
And if you can just go back and tell the story you've told a million times of how it came to be.
Yeah, sure. There's our godfather, Bob McIntosh. He was a retired park ranger, and retired rangers from the USA go abroad to help national parks all over the world because there are developing national parks that don't have the experience we have with our 150 years of national parks here. And so he was in Mongolia, Bob McIntosh, in the summer of 2013, working with an outfit called the Mongol Ecology Center, which is an NGO established to help the national parks of Mongolia grow and prosper. And he was providing some of his experience and wisdom and planning to the chief ranger at Lake Havsgol National Park in northern Mongolia. And during that little interchange, when they were talking about kind of trail management and some of the other management things needed there, a visitor actually drove right past the closed sign and right down to the shores of the lake, and that ranger needed to jump on his old bike and go deal with it. So he got on the motorcycle and he went to take off and he hit the berm on the side of the road and the motorcycle just disintegrated. It fell apart. It was kind of held together with duct tape and baling wire. And McIntosh had been a rider earlier in his life, but he was just so furious at the condition of the equipment that these guys just didn't have what they needed to do their job. That, after picking the Ranger up off the ground and, he said, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to ride a motorcycle out here next year and bring it to you myself. And, Ono Batku was with him and her husband, Wesley, who's the co-founder of this. And he was there and heard what Max said. And they looked at each other and Wesley said, I will do that too. And they came back to the U.S. They were living in the Bay Area at the time, started talking to their Bay Area riding community. And all of a sudden, heck yeah, I'll do that. What? Yeah, I'll do that. And 1 year later, 15 people, myself included, didn't just bring one motorcycle, but 15 bikes to Lake Havsgol National Park and made good on Bob's promise.
That's how you know you were onto something. That many people said, yeah, I'm in.
That's great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That they and that just that you can fundraise on it, right? And that's because one of the first questions we get is, why don't you just ship the bikes over there? Why do you have to go? Right. And it's like, well, that's not going to work. You people aren't going to give the way they give when you're going to do it. When you are going to invest your time, take your time off of work, make that trip, make that travel. I liken it all the time to a 10K for cancer. People will donate to you because you're going to run in that 10K to raise money for cancer. If they just came to you and said, hey, let's donate to cancer, well, sure, you would do that, but it wouldn't be nearly as effective. It's that personal participation, and they maybe don't ride a motorcycle and they're never going to go to Mongolia, but if they can live vicariously through you and help you get there and experience that and be part of adopting that ranger, it's really been a successful model now for, 8-9 years.
And so you've been keeping this going. How many trips a year are you doing?
We're averaging 2 trips a year. We had to pack in 3 last year because Bhutan kept getting punted because of COVID. We took, we had a COVID break in 2020. And then we went to Peru, we went to Mongolia and Bhutan last year in 2022. So we did 3, and that was a lot. So this year coming up, we have 2 more. And so we're kind of looking at 2 a year right now. And
this is not your job.
No, this is not. This is all volunteer time. Yeah. This is same thing with my partner, Wesley. He has a business, Trend Digital, that he runs full time. So this is evenings and weekends passion project. It's like I'm fond of saying it's not what I do for a living. It's what I live to do.
Yeah. And, so you've been doing this a while, and I was listening to another interview you were doing, and you were talking about people riding the bikes a little too hard, yourself included, because you didn't have experience as an adventure rider before you started this.
That is correct.
And you've learned along the way that, you got to dial it back and ride smarter. What was it? Did you go down like a 6-foot
I had
embankment?
50 years of pent up off-road riding built up in me. I remember here when I was here last time, I'm looking across at Evil over there, who I think was sitting next to me when I was here last. He was my childhood hero, and I had posters of motocross masters in my bedroom. Never rode a motorcycle as a kid. Just envisioned myself doing it my whole life. and then bought a Harley in my 20s, a Sportster, and just did street riding. And I thought that was the thing, and because that's what, Evel Knievel brought to me. And then BMW Cruiser, the R1200C here in California, and rode that on the street. And then I got invited at the last minute to this Mongolia rally in 2014. I got invited in May, and the rally was July 6th. I had to leave. So I had 6 weeks to raise $5,000 and learn how to ride off-road. And so I had a buddy up in the mountains who had a KLX, and he said, I could just come by and grab it whenever you need it. And so I took his bike and I brought it on the fire roads, up around Yosemite, and, made, I don't know, a couple, 2, 3, 4 hours. And I said, I could do this. This, no problem, right? And so I got over there. And, within an hour of being off-road, I was just gripped, just terrified. Like I was in so far over my head. And also, way over there, nobody had mentioned travel insurance to me. And the guy in front of me on that first day in that first hour went over the handlebars and broke his collarbone. So the first day of the first rally, we have a broken collarbone and an extraction. And so I was just gripped, but I had other riders who helped me. And so about halfway through that trip, I started dialing it in. I started connecting with my skiing background. There's huge relationships between skiing and off-road motorcycling. And once I kind of dialed that in, it really just started to become kind of a natural extension, of me. And I was fortunate. So I dropped a ton that trip. The next trip, I only dropped the 1 6-foot time. That was the only
just a little.
I had gotten to the point where I made 10 days without dropping the bike in Mongolia. Like I was so proud of myself.
You're dialed back and riding nice and slow and easy.
I was just cruising across this beautiful, open, grassy, green field. I mean, literally, I have it on GoPro. You can see just nothing but beautiful green pasture all the way out in front of you until the pasture disappears and you're dropping into a dry riverbed, because the far slope of the riverbed was a slope and it was green, right? So to the horizon, everything was green until I hit that. And, of course, all of my experienced buddies were like, well, that's when you gas it, you jump in. No. I would have hit and launched so much worse. But I'm really fortunate. I'm fortunate I didn't break both my wrists, arresting my fall. The bike came down on top of me and, walked away from that, and the bike rode away from that, thankfully a little dinged up. But, I learned tremendous respect for riding in a short time.
I'm not going to call anyone out, not naming names, but I'm just curious. In general, you get, accomplished or confident riders from big bikes onto these little bikes. How do you get them to dial it in and take it easy? Because I would think a lot of people are like, woohoo!
Oh, it's one of the most important things. And I think of Patagonia sometimes, because one of our riders in Patagonia just had to just start doing wheelies and just spins, and we're like, he's just wearing the rubber off the tires, and we're like, we're donating these bikes in 10 days. We want to deliver the cleanest bike possible with the least amount of damage. And that's why we actually have in Mongolia, we have a bottle of vodka for everybody who gets through without dropping.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
That's the prize, is a bottle of Chinggis Gold vodka for anybody who doesn't drop. And there's rarely 2 to 3 riders that can make it. Even just sitting at lunch, the bike tips over. I mean, it just happens, right, in soft sand or whatever. So, but no question, there's so many really hotshot, skilled riders who, just do Baja racing and all that stuff, and they get over there and they you're in Mongolia, you want to go. And so we continually reinforcing every day just respect for the culture, respect for the bikes, the reasons we're there. And it's not a huge problem, but all of us get caught up in it. When you get out in that terrain and you've got that new bike and you just want to put it through its paces, but it's also a brand new bike. So you can't just open it up and go. You have to nurse it and, put it through its first, 500-mile service and kind of all of those things along the way. So no doubt we deal with that, regular.
Yeah, John can relate. How many times did you crash in Pakistan, John?
Honestly, I really can't remember anymore.
They all blend together. It was just one big crash.
I agree. Yeah, there's one crash.
So I wanted to share something with you. I was inspired by your trips, and so Bagel and John and I have all been to Pakistan, and we go do these trips in Pakistan, right?
Yep.
And on this last trip, I was like, I have an idea of something new I can do. Let's buy some bikes and deliver them, which we did to this girls' hostel, these girls who come from up in the mountains, to teach them how to ride.
Amazing.
And I used Patreon money to buy them. A new 70cc Honda costs $500 American. Wow. It's nothing, right? Yeah. Nothing. But I was inspired by you of gifting a bike.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I didn't know that was part of the trip.
Yeah, so we did that on the last trip, and then on the trip this year, my friend Maggie McNally, she's going to be leading it, and they're going to go and teach the women how to ride.
So great, so empowering. You know,
it's contagious.
Yeah, that's just.
Yeah, but I was like, wow, yes, we can leave something behind and help people out. We also, just maybe this will help you. We paid a local mechanic for a year of maintenance.
Beautiful.
Which was like $100.
Yeah, wow. Right. It doesn't cost much.
Paid to take care of the new bikes over there. Yeah, that's awesome.
And collected gear and tools and all the things.
Beautiful.
It was not a lot for us, but
for them it's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. Yeah.
I have kind of a random question off it fits in, but it's kind of like along with the maintenance thing. You've been doing this for almost 10 years now. Are you at the point where you're going to go back and replace bikes that you gave people originally, right? Because they only go for so long.
Done.
Yeah.
Check that box this year. So we went back to the beginning this past summer, and we brought 15 new bikes to northern Mongolia where we started. And they had just worn them out. And that's when people are like, when do you finish? It's like, we don't. It doesn't ever finish. The work never ends. There are so many parks and so many places, but they use them so hard. And you've seen the film now. You see them riding 365 days a year. They are riding in all conditions all the time. And so those bikes just get put through their paces. And so we will be replacing them as they age out. Absolutely.
I want to see the coffee table book of brand new bike. And then after it's been clapped out for 10 years, because I'm sure they not only make repairs, but maybe customize it a little
they
bit,
trick them. I mean, the yak wool seeds.
Whatever, right?
They're barely recognizable, especially when they're winter tricked out. Yeah, they look spectacular. So we have some photos of those.
I was going to say, where can you see those? In the movie, or is it?
Yeah, there's some of that in the film, and then on Instagram, on our Instagram.
Oh, okay, you can see it there.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram
there? Instagram is Rally for Rangers. Yep, Rally for Rangers. And just still growing that. So there's just some incredible footage and photos out there on Instagram. So I encourage everybody to go check that out. And there's a picture there from about 2-3 weeks ago where a ranger was doing a river patrol because they have fish poaching, gill netting and stuff. And he's doing a river patrol, and he dropped his bike right through the ice into the river.
Oh no!
And thankfully, it didn't submerge. It only went in about halfway. But we got a picture of him standing next to the motorcycle. That's just up to it.
Oh shoot! Look at that.
There you go. There he is. Dropped it right through into the river. And
going back to what you're saying, why aren't you shipping bikes there? And I know the answer. Also from Pakistan, you have to deliver bikes that they have there, that they have resources and parts for.
Right.
That they're accustomed to. You can't bring something else in.
No, we ask them, what do you want? Because we're not going to buy something that they can't service and maintain. We're looking at bikes that they can get locally, all the parts they need, everything they need. So that's why we don't have quote unquote brand loyalty. Number one, because we don't have a brand yet that's stepped up. But number two, it may be that we have to get a Honda in a certain location because that's all that's available, or a Beta, or a Royal Enfield. And so we've used all of those because that's what's used locally, and that's what they can service and take care of regularly.
Speaking of brand loyalty, have you reached out to some of these, even though they're different in each location, have you reached out to some of the big juggernauts in the motorcycle scene? And has there been any traction?
No. No, we just haven't been able to crack that nut yet. And we've got this incredible story, we've got this incredible collateral, and yet we just haven't been able to figure out how to get somebody to step up and say, hey, we'll give them to you at cost, or we'll donate a portion, or it just hasn't been a thing yet. So we keep looking, we keep trying. We've had a lot of other OEM support. I can list them off, right? Climb, Moscow Moto, Double Take Mirrors, Senna Bluetooth. The great support from those partners, but nobody from the manufacturing side yet.
So I want to just bring this up because it's becoming more of a topic lately. There's a lot of Chinese companies out there making 250cc, little adventure dual sport bikes. Is that something you would consider, or are they not well made enough?
In most cases, that's what we're replacing. Yep.
Okay.
So we're just, because their life cycle is going to be half of what
But they're more likely to donate.
That could be.
Yeah.
But we also don't want to just add to the waste stream. We want something that's going to last as long as possible. And so, we've got to keep all of our options open. And the other thing is where are we going with electric? Cake now did this anti-poaching bike. Fascinating to watch. I've had 2 conversations with them. And Volcon, I've reached out to and had a conversation with Volcon. They've got the Grunt. Have you seen this Volcon Grunt?
Or what about like the Upco?
Upco, Zero. They're like we just so at some point we have some partners who are interested in doing solar installations. So we've kind of got the battery infrastructure side somewhat figured out, and so then it finding a moto partner, because that's what they do in the African cases is they have batteries waiting, right, and they just swap out batteries as they go. They have charging stations, and so but silent anti-poaching work.
Yes,
that's a big deal. Doesn't work everywhere, because you don't want to be too silent in the areas of lions, tigers, and bears, because silence can get you killed by the bear. Right. You do not want to surprise wildlife. So So you got to be careful exactly where you use silence. But electric's the future. We know that. It's just a matter of how quickly we get there. So we kind of we're open to all comers right now.
So, and I wanted to kind of just reflect on park rangers, domestic, international. To me, it seems, and maybe it hasn't, but it seems to me that the job description has changed a lot. And that even here in the States, like here locally, our park rangers are armed and wear bulletproof vests because of the threats locally. Also, I mean, there's stories of cartel pot growing up in the mountains and rangers coming across it. And,
you bet.
And the park rangers have to be armed. And here you have internationally, you have these rangers who, this is not the best paying gig in town, but they sign up for this job and their lives are at risk. When did this happen, that being a park ranger, you put your life at risk?
Well, I think, so the life risk of the ranger historically, particularly around here, was more the risk of getting involved in search and rescue and that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Not risk from violence.
Yeah.
That, our society as a whole, and one of the reasons that we're seeing more of our law enforcement all across the board, wearing what they're wearing and carrying what they're carrying, is just mass violence. Mass shooting incidents, they can happen now anywhere. Like there's nowhere that's safe. And certainly the growing operations we've seen, that's really dangerous. They're booby-trapped sites. There's sites that are doing tremendous ecological damage. Legalization has changed that somewhat. It has reduced the amount of illegal grow sites because you can, kind of now get a permit much easier. But that's still out there. And so, I would say that that's definitely been something that's of the last 20 years in particular. But any time that you are enforcing law, and you're going to have some risk. But when you see rangers in these other countries, when we go to Nepal or Africa, you see they're wearing fatigues and they're carrying AK-47s.
Yes.
That's like a war zone. And so that's a whole different kind of park ranger even than what we see, in the States or in Europe or Australia and places like that, just because of the nature of the wildlife they have and the threats that exist to them. And that's where most of those 1,000 rangers a year that are killed, most of them are in Africa.
So just to paint the picture, tell us all the places you guys have gone and what the threats are that they're dealing with that the motorcycle helps them with.
Yeah, we started in Mongolia. In Mongolia, you have things like the snow leopard, the gobi bear. Anybody know the largest trout species in the world? Any anglers in here? The taimen. Is the largest trout species in the world. They're enormous trout and critically threatened and poached.
I think they're in Aptos right now. Going down the street.
Catch them in the street.
And then the cultural antiquities, right? So when we were in 2018, when we were in the Altai Mountains, there's a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the Altai Mountains that's protected, the Altai Tavanbog complex. 40,000 years of continuous recorded human history.
Wow.
So the rock art and the petroglyphs, and people steal them. They chisel them out, right, to put in a gallery somewhere. So it's not just the natural environment, but the cultural, antiquities that are under threat as well. So Bhutan, of course, tiger, elephant, that sort of thing in Bhutan where we've been. Same in Nepal, the Bengal tiger and the one-horned rhino in Nepal. And the one-horned rhino is a huge success story in the anti-poaching world. They've really rebounded because of anti-poaching efforts there. And they were mostly using bicycle. And they still use that to a degree because, again, it's quieter and gets them to some of the places they need to go. Patagonia is interesting because it wasn't so much about wildlife as it was about wildfire. Patagonia, wildfire does not naturally exist in Patagonia.
Right.
Because the lightning there is cloud to cloud. It doesn't tend to hit the ground. And so there are natural starts for fire. It's all human caused. So therefore, the plant species and animal species down there have not evolved to be fire resistant. So when fire comes through, it's devastating. Our forests here need fire.
Yes.
And so, but down there, it's devastating. So they have to have rapid response for fire suppression.
And the fires are from individuals? Or
yes,
from
correct. Camping, cigarettes, camping,
Human.
that sort of thing, human caused. And so that's there. Peru, man, the Amazon, that's all you have to say, right? I mean, talk about challenging ground to patrol, the things that are happening down there with poaching, deforestation, and illegal mining and all kinds of things like that. And then in Namibia, again, some of the classic examples of, lions, tigers, and elephants, and giraffes, and so on. So it tends to be that megafauna that we think of. That's what that's why the WWF, has the panda bear as their model, because, boy, people want to give money to pandas. And that really helps tell the story, but it's so much bigger than that. And there's so much more work that rangers do than that.
Well, that is a perfect segue into a game I created just for you, Tom.
Okay.
Just for you. Because
what do I win?
Well, because you have
a bag of dicks.
It's the
gift that keeps on giving.
You have quite a lot of experience as a ranger.
I do.
So I created the Rally for Rangers quiz. Let's see how you do. Okay. Follow along.
Do I get to phone a friend?
Also, I need all the answers in the form of a question.
Oh, good thing my wife loves Jeopardy.
So, Ding Darling. You following me so far? Ding Darling was an American cartoonist who won 2 Pulitzer Prizes and founded the National Wildlife Federation. On Sanibel Island, you can visit the Ding Darling Wildlife Refuge with amazing bike trails, but you can't take your motorcycle there. The NWF has been publishing this magazine for kids since 1967.
What is Ranger Rick?
Ding, ding, ding!
Yeah, that's a good one.
Very good.
Love Ding Darling.
Okay. All right.
He might just be a ranger.
All right, here's your next one. A former U.S. Army soldier. He is the serious and stern authority figure in Jellystone Park, in contrast to the antics of the Vespa scooter-riding Yogi. He greatly disapproves of Yogi's picnic basket thievery.
I'm looking at his face. It's not Boo Boo.
Hey, Boo Boo.
And yes, did you know that Yogi rode a Vespa?
Vespa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm totally blanking on it.
There's 2 possible answers here.
Mm-hmm.
I
can hear him talking.
What did Yogi call him?
I'm not getting it.
Wow.
I'm blanking on that one.
All right. The answer was, who is Ranger Smith or Mr. Ranger?
Mr. Ranger. You can see his face. You can hear his voice.
There it is.
I think I'm too young for these. Some of these.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Riehu motorcycles. Have you heard of Riehu?
I don't think so.
Is it Spanish?
Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish.
Sure. Yep.
Riehu motorcycles offer many models of dirt bikes, including the Mr. Pro and the Mr. Racing. Riehu realizes that not everyone who rides is a serious racer, and that there are a lot of people out there who don't need every gizmo, gadget, and gimmick that money can buy. So they just wanted a simple, well-performing trail bike. This model of Riehu is the perfect, affordable 300cc 2-stroke trail bike for the masses. Previous models, Mr. Pro and Mr. Racing. What might they call this?
What is Mr. Ranger?
That is correct!
That was a tricky one.
You're sensing a theme, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
Except for Smith.
Pink, green, blue, red, black, and yellow are the colors worn by these Japanese TV superheroes with color-matching shark cycles?
Who are the Power Rangers?
Yes, or the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes, of course, the full title.
All right. You're doing good so far.
I'm hanging in there.
All right. Fully equipped with sidecar, spare wheel, luggage rack, spade, jerry can, knobby tires, and two-wheel drive. This is the top-selling model of this Russian motorcycle company.
What is Ural? Ranger?
There you go.
There you go.
Yes, Ural Ranger is the top-selling model.
Ranger.
That comes
Yes.
with all the things.
Yes.
All right. Oh, you feeling more confident now?
I'm feeling confident.
Okay, well, let's see. We got three more.
Okay.
A fourth-round draft choice in 2014, and also from Russia, like the Ural, goaltender Igor Shesterkin broke out for a record-breaking year in 2021 and 2022, leading the NHL in save percentage and goals against average on this team.
Who is the original Six's New York Rangers?
There you go. That's right, the original
That's the
Six.
full title.
Yes. Oh, joining us from not so wet Marina, California, it's Miss Emma.
Hello, darlings.
Hello.
No, we're in a very peculiar spot because it's glorious sunshine with you. It's glorious sunshine with me. In fact, I just got off the Superglide and had a lovely ride. But I can't get to you because Watsonville is underwater.
Yeah, it's a bummer. But hey, I'm glad you joined us.
No, I'm thrilled to be here.
We're just finishing up this quiz for Tom, who's here. So you don't have to answer. This is all
Hi,
for
Tom.
Tom.
Hello.
All right,
Tom. He's very handsome. I like your beard, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, Tom. At a cost of $9,975, this American-made, street-legal, two-wheel drive 208cc motorcycle now has an improved top speed of 37 miles per hour and somewhat of a cult following.
What is the Ranger?
You're close.
Good answer.
That is the model. I need the brand. And if you can't
What is the
answer,
Vespa Ranger?
that is a good guess. Emma, tell him what the answer is.
I wish.
It's a Rokon
There it is.
Trailbreaker.
Rokon Ranger.
Yeah,
Rokon
Rokon.
Ranger.
I've seen the Rokon.
All right.
Silly.
Wah, wah. All right.
Can't get them all. You can't win them all.
You got one more. You can redeem yourself on this one. All right. The Kawasaki KLR 250 D8 has a range of 210 miles on paved roads, with power being served by a 4-stroke single-cylinder engine developing up to 28 horsepower. The military version saw various modifications, including noise and heat signature reductions, improved suspension systems, low-light service headlamps, and reinforced frames, and was once used by this elite branch of the military.
See, I'm looking at that book over there, and it says I thought it said the Lone Ranger.
I know.
So I've been distracted by that. Who are the Army Rangers?
That is correct. Ding, ding, ding,
Yay.
ding, ding.
U.S. Army Rangers who train at what? Oh, they're in upstate New York. I go by there sometimes. Their training ground. Yes.
Well, there you go. I tried to come up with a quiz that had Rangers and motorcycles.
Yes. I
and
kept waiting for the Lone Ranger question, and it never arrived.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, well, there were no motorcycles.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for making it almost as easy as it could be for
Lone
me.
Ranger, how did we miss that one?
I'm trying to think how you could do motorcycles in that one.
I
That's
know.
right.
There's the Rangers. I mean, there's so many Rangers, but I did my best.
Yes, I appreciate that. Well done.
You did well. You did well.
Once I caught on to the theme, once I really started paying attention.
Just so you know, I did this. I did a test version of this in the garage. They did not catch up to the theme so quick.
Shocking.
Well, no, in defense of the garage, sometimes your themes can be a little tenuous, Liza.
Yeah. No, you were quick. You were quick to it. So, since you were here last,
There was a bag of dicks on the line. I had to buckle down.
Since you were here last, though, there's some big news with Rally for Rangers.
There's a lot of big news with Rally for Rangers. Yeah. There's kind of 3 big newses this year. You know, the documentary film is the biggest thing right now. It's the fact that we've got this thing running the festival circuit. We just won the Best of Festival at the Colorado Environmental Film Festival.
That's right.
And National Wildlife Day festival that Jackson Wild puts on, and a host of others. Like, it's just racking up laurels. So super exciting to get the word out that way.
We got to watch it in the garage before this.
We had our own private screening.
Yes, we did.
In the garage.
Yes, exactly. And I have to tell the funny story. It's been a while since you've been here, and I think you forgot how tiny the garage actually is.
Yeah, I know. I had big plans.
Emma Bagel, you appreciate this. We've been planning this for a while. Him coming out here for this, and he's like, yeah, we'll premiere the film out there. And he's like, hey, what's the address so I can post on social media for everyone to come and join us for the premiere there? And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. We can only fit 5 people. I think you forgot how tiny the garage is.
I forgot. Just parking my bike in there last time there was no space.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Didn't know what all the options were, but yeah, quickly decided that no, not a big showing.
Had it been better weather, we could have done something in the tent or even outside in the parking lot for more people.
Down the road.
Unfortunately, we could. But we did get to see it. And first off, I wanted to say this is such a high-end, well-made film. I mean, the subject matter is great. And I think that the filmmakers realized this was really worth a good investment and time. How many years did it take? It's
been going on since 2018.
Yeah.
Fisher Creative out of Jackson, Wyoming, Driggs, Idaho. They're an adventure filming company. And they rescued us in the summer of 2018 when we thought we had a contract with a film outfit to film Mongolia. They bailed out with about a month to go, and we were at a loss. And Fisher Creative had just finished doing some filming out in the Gobi Desert on an archaeology trip, an award-winning trip for them. And we got introduced to them in Mongolia. Just the timing worked out, and they turned around and sent somebody along with us just a few weeks later. And that's how it was born. There wasn't a feature film thought at that point. It was just capturing one rally at a time. But once they got involved, they were like, hey, we want to keep doing this. This is special. And, you know, they were all in. And so even just for travel costs, basically, you know, to come and film. So they filmed 2 rallies in 2018 and then 2 rallies again in 2019 and then again in 2021. And we did the Kickstarter in 2020 last time I was here and raised money to help kind of get that thing off the ground. And here we are finally all this time later with COVID delays and everything else. We finally got the premiere out the door this year. And so it's been a labor of love for sure for us and Fisher Creative.
They did Expedition Everest for National Geographic.
Serious business. Well, the production value.
It's very high production value.
The production value was great watching. It was really enjoyable, and you had some drawn animation added into it. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just wanted to tell the full story, right? And there's parts of the story that we don't have on film. And so how do we get those? Well, they started looking at some different animation outfits, and we can fill some of those storytelling gaps with animation, and it really adds a lot of texture to the film, I think, and it's really remarkable.
I'm just going to comment that there was some well-placed animation in that replaced probably a real image of dead poached animals.
Right.
And just seeing an animated version of it lightens the blow because it's really hard to look at that, you know?
Is.
But yet you can't ignore it because that's such a big part of why you guys are doing this.
That's what's real. You have to draw that balance, you know, between what's over the top to really tell the story and what really still gets it home that, no, this is real. This is happening. It's brutal. And so I think they threaded that needle beautifully. Incidentally, they just got back from Ukraine. They're doing a film on so many of the NGOs that are supporting the efforts in Ukraine. And so they go into some pretty gnarly situations, and from the top of the world on Everest to war zones, you know, to tell people's stories. And we're fortunate to be connected with them.
So where else is the film traveling that people can see it?
So right now it's getting ready to go on the summer adventure moto circuit. Just got confirmation from the Get On Fest with RevZilla that it'll be showing there at Zakar in the Rawhide facility at the end of April. I'll be taking it down to Horizons Unlimited, Virginia, at the end of April. We're taking it up here to Horizons. So those of you in the California area, the Horizons Mariposa event in mid-April, it'll be showing up there. A couple of our alumni that are in the film are showing it up there. And then the Overland Expo circuit, starting with Overland West and going through the Overland Expos, the Get On Fest and the Black Hills this summer.
Cool.
I'll go back, I'm sure, to the TourTech Dirt Days in New Hampshire. That was a huge audience for us last year.
Do you need a motorcycle to ride in the Black Hills?
I might.
I have a KLR there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it in Custer?
Yes.
In a garage at the...
Yes.
Okay.
You know exactly where it is.
I do know where, because we had a conversation with Michelle. Because another announcement, we are doing our first ever Rally for Rangers event in the US of A.
Yes. I
In
want
the
to hear
Black
more
Hills.
about this.
So we can get to that. We can get to that.
Oh, wait.
So
Jim knows all about this. You got to watch out. They have scary cows there.
scary cows, is that would be like maybe scary yaks in Mongolia, perhaps?
No, Jim, just tell your story.
Or are you talking about the bison
so
that are
much.
scary cows?
No.
Liza brings this up all
I
the
love
time.
it.
When we were in Custer for a while, and I camped for 3 or 4 nights in the Black Hills off the bike. And I just never encountered so many cows in my life. And they're like the giant mountain cows. You know, they come charging off a hillside and stuff. But anyway, Liza likes to... I was cow shocked by the end of the week. But anyway, it was silly.
The cows kept running on the road in front of him and just shitting out of fear, just creating more and more like things to avoid.
Yeah,
and he's like, I don't know how to get out of this. And it just kept getting worse.
It's a vicious cycle.
Exactly.
It's like an oil slick.
Scaring the shit out of them.
Yeah, literally.
Emma, you're on mute.
There you go. No, I'm done. And I was going to say, I do exactly the same thing in deference to the cows. You've never seen me truly scared, but it's coming out of me. It's going through me like a Ferrari, darling.
So tell me more about this U.S. What now? It's not. Are you giving bikes to Rangers?
So a completely different model.
Okay.
We started hearing. Well, we didn't start. I mean, we've heard from people from the beginning. I can't do that. I can't take 2 weeks off of work.
Right.
I can't raise $11,000, even though they probably can. But it's a barrier. Totally gets a barrier.
No, I'm going to admit, I just don't want to.
Yeah. It's just too. It's just too much. So we started looking kind of domestically. What can we do here? We have so many people here who want to join and want to support us, but can't do that all-in thing overseas on an international trip. So what can we do here? Where's the need? And we started looking at not so much the federal landscape, because the federal landscape's fairly well taken care of, even though there's a lot of philanthropy going on there too. But we've been having conversations with tribal parks and talking to like the Navajo Reservation and the Navajo Tribal Parks, Ogallala Sioux Parks and Recreation, and but also the Black Hills State Parks and places like that. And so there are places where we can give tools, and not necessarily motorcycles. Maybe it's a side-by-side. And maybe it's night vision equipment. We've heard from them that in the anti-poaching world, night vision is huge, because so much of the poaching that happens out, bison poaching and elk poaching in the Black Hills, happens at night. And so for them to have night vision to really help do the work, we've given drones, GPS units. So it doesn't have to be motorcycles, but the motorcyclists can raise the money through a rally and then donate. So the goal in the Black Hills in September 21 through 24, it's a weekend, is that everybody will pay into the rally, probably $800 for the weekend for your camping and your food and permits and stuff. And then we'll have a fundraising minimum for everybody, maybe $2,000. And if we get 30 riders raising $2,000 apiece, we can buy $60,000 worth of equipment for the Rangers, whether it's chainsaws, GPS units. And if they need motorcycles, then we'll give them. But it's not about that one motorcycle to one Ranger model that we have elsewhere. We have twice the number of people, and we have a completely different way of giving back. And so in some cases, somebody might fly in and rent a bike.
Yeah.
So we've been talking to Rogue Moto out of Colorado, Grand Junction, Colorado, and they might bring in their fleet. And so I'll use yours, but you can rent a bike, or you can bring your own. And so we're not leaving a bike behind like in the others, but leaving other equipment behind. That's the model.
Yeah, for anyone else, my bike is available on twistedroad.com. You can rent it. But for Tom, Yeah, for you, you're a friend. I'll let you use it.
That's what I won, right?
Yeah.
In addition to the
Yeah.
bag.
So, Jim, do you remember, just to give everyone a perspective of the Black Hills, do you remember how many miles of dirt roads they have?
I want to say like 4,000 miles of
Yeah.
And they
have
have designated moto single track. Like they have a trails superintendent in the Black Hills National Forest that just does motorized trails.
Wow.
So I've been learning so much more about that
how
and poring
interesting.
over the maps.
Oh.
They really cater to, and some of them, again, no ATVs, no UTVs, motorcycle only trails in the Black Hills.
Oh, interesting.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, Craig, you would love it. I mean, you can just go out there and just...
So I would spend.
anyway.
That's where I learned how to dirt bike. I would go out there every other summer, and with my dad, and I've spent more time in the Black Hills
have
riding
you?
than I ever.
So you know
I've-
how
Truly
expansive
incredible.
it is.
There's this one trail called the roller coaster. It's 100 miles,
Ooh.
and one of the most epic motorcycle dirt bike single track roads in the country. I actually buried a lock of my hair out there and had
Okay, this got weird.
I had a bet with my dad. I had this one like strand of hair that he wanted cut off, and I didn't want to cut it. I was like 15.
Was it a rat tail?
well,
by
a
It was
any
a
chance?
rat tail. It was a rat tail. And so I was like, I'll cut it off. And he said, I'll bet you $100 it's there next time we come. And we haven't made it back to that
It's a
spot
big
yet.
Craig
but
tree
he
now.
won. Yeah. But yeah, the Black Hills are unbelievable. It's one of my favorite places to ride.
Yeah, I'm glad that, the Get On Fest is bringing more attention to the Black Hills because it's just known as Sturgis Bike Week and everything. But there's amazing adventure riding. And now you guys going out there too and recognizing it. That helps build that up
and
too.
spreading it out, and we're doing it in late September, right before their big Buffalo Roundup. So people who are into the bison can stay a week and see the Buffalo Roundup, which is amazing.
It's amazing.
And it's a quiet week for them. And so it's good for us. It's good for them, and we're super excited. And we're adding actually a gravel cycling event to that weekend. There's an outfit that's Cycling Quest, and they're going to put on for those that don't motorized ride a gravel cycling event to also raise money. And so because the gravel cycling right now is just taken off in the bicycling world. Gravel riding is kind of like adventure riding's taken off on the moto side. Gravel's taken off on the bicycle side.
Does not sound like fun to me.
And it's a lot of work.
I know.
So it's going to be a full-on fun weekend. We're going to bring a lot of people to Custer that weekend.
So you're hoping that this film is going to bring a lot of attention to Rally for Rangers
Absolutely.
for years to come.
For years to come. And the third thing,
Yeah?
big thing,
Big?
first ever Rally for Rangers sweepstakes.
Oh, this is big. I heard about this. No. I want everyone to pay attention right now. I know about this, and this is now. This is now.
This is starting this month.
Now. Okay.
Yeah, we are giving away a trip to Mongolia.
Wow.
Yeah. Pay attention.
2024.
No, pay attention.
2024 to join us in Mongolia on the Rally for Rangers trip. And we're going to start selling tickets. We've been watching with great interest and jealousy the success of the BDR, of the Colorado Trails Preservation Alliance, and others in their motorcycle giveaways. And, they do great work in raising money for their work through these giveaways. And we're like, let's not do another motorcycle. What can we do? We have an experience like no other. Let's give one away. Let's let somebody come basically for free. I mean, you've got to deal with a couple of personal expenses, but covering flights, covering the cost of the motorcycle, covering all your income, $15,000 value.
Yeah.
We're giving away.
Wow.
And so we're going to start selling tickets this month, and we're going to sell them through the summer, through the event season, and announce the winner in the fall at the end of October. And then summer of 2024, somebody's going to get to join in Mongolia. And it's something that we've never tried before, and we are so excited to give somebody the opportunity.
How much will the tickets be?
Tickets right now are set to cost $25 a piece, and then scaling up, right?
Patreon money.
So-
I'm using you.
$25 a piece, 5 for 100, and so on, up to probably there will be $1,000 amount that scales the value of the tickets. And so that's how we'll do it. And we're just going to raise money for the program and give somebody an amazing experience. And for those listeners out there, there may be a small fraction of you who don't ride. You don't have to ride a motorcycle. You can be on the support team. But let's be clear. I want to be clear. This is in not fine print. This is going to be in bold. You're going to be working your ass off. This is not a vacation. This is remote, rugged travel. Whether you're in the U.S. van bouncing along behind us and setting up camp every night and taking it down in the morning, or on the motorcycle busting your chops every day, it's work. And it's an incredible opportunity to be a part of. And we're anxious to give somebody that opportunity and to help raise some money doing it. So look for an announcement at rallyforrangers.org and on our Instagram site later this month. And we're going to launch the campaign, and we'll see who gets to join us for free on this all expenses paid trip next year, 2024.
That's pretty amazing. Please make sure that you send a link to me.
Sure
we
will
share it with everyone because we love to help people out. In fact, this is a great opportunity to share another group that we are helping, the AMA. We have brought back the AMA Minute. Here it is.
My name's Erin Rita. I'm the grassroots coordinator for the American Motorcyclists Association, and this is the AMA Minute. In federal news, the U.S. House of Representatives have reintroduced the Repair Act, which stands for the Right to Equitable and Professional Auto Industry Repair, or H.R. 906. This bill would ensure that motorcyclists and independent repair shops have access to the information, tools, and parts needed to repair motorcycles. In state news, from Albany, New York, the New York State Senator Liz Krueger has introduced Senate Bill 2773, a bill that seeks to ban the sale of off-highway motorcycles and ATVs by dealers or individuals within New York City. The AMA strongly opposes this ban. While the bill's goal is to address illegal use of OHVs on public roads, it instead needlessly punishes law-abiding residents and will do nothing to address illegal use of off-highway vehicles on city streets. Thousands of New Yorkers are avid off-road riders and should not lose their right to buy or sell their vehicles within city limits. From Richmond, Virginia, after submitting testimony opposing House Bill 1772, which would have allowed localities to create mechanisms for the seizure, impounding, and disposition of off-road machines used on public roads or private property without the approval of the landowner, the AMA is happy to report this bill has failed to make it to a full House vote. In AMA news, the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Famer and multi-talented road, motocross, AMA Supercross, and Superbikers racer Steve Wise will be the Grand Marshal for the 2023 AMA Vintage Motorcycle Days event, which will be held on July 21st through July 23rd at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. To learn more about how you can use your voice to help fight these issues and more, please visit the AMA's Action Center at AmericanMotorcyclist.com. Thanks for listening.
Isn't it awesome to be working with the AMA again?
Love the AMA.
I love what they're doing, and
I re-upped my 2-year membership when we were in New York together. Sure did.
Yes, any forum that we can give them, and from Americade at the AMA booth, I met Aaron Retta, who came on my trip, who then wrote the article, and I don't know if you read the AMA magazine.
I sure did. I saw all those pretty pictures.
Isn't it amazing?
You better believe it.
How just from these small connections and just going out there, how things just snowball, and it all helps.
Yeah, I mean, from my time at Americade and meeting the team up there, they help us build our first Shopify site. So we have a store on Shopify, Rally for Rangers on Shopify to get some swag. And that was just through, again, making those connections. Christian and his team helped us through that process. The community is just incredible.
Yeah, that was a fun event to be at. I'm going to go off a little off topic. I want to ask you a question that I don't know that anyone else has asked you. And this is not Rally for Rangers specific, but this is Tom Medema specific. I would like to get your opinion on a topic that's coming up more and more. As a ranger, I wanted to get your opinion on e-bikes on trails, because it's very common to ride bikes, mountain bikes. Are they banned in any parks, really? No?
Not going to go there.
Okay. That's why I know for a lot of people are having trouble. Like, where do we categorize these, and how do we limit them? And my question is, do they actually cause harm or damage?
Yeah, right. And again, given my role in Washington, D.C. and my role with the National Park Service, it's just not something I could comment on.
No problem. Yeah, that's what, because as a ranger, your job is to maintain. And I'm just trying to figure out where do they belong, So
yeah, no, understood. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm an e-bike personal advocate. I've ridden them. I don't own one right now, but I kind of wish I did some days when I'm commuting. But that, and that changes administration to administration. One administration feels strongly about access, and one administration feels less strongly. But yeah, given my role and position, it's just not something I can take.
So how do you feel about the future of just motorcycle riding on trails in general? Because I know in California there's a lot of conversations going on about closing some stuff down and limiting.
Well, I think, again, from my personal perspective, I think that we're fortunate to have so much access to so much public land that I see both opening up and in some cases contracting a little bit, depending on where it is.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm curious about the transition to electric motorcycle.
Yeah.
And your e-bike question, what does that mean? Because what we hear, complaints we hear in public land space is noise. Right. And the impact on the other recreational users of loud recreation, whatever that loud recreation is, and somebody who's looking for one experience versus another. And it's interesting to think about the future, just projecting ahead 50 years, what will be the percentage of electric motorcycles on trails versus today? You have to assume it'll be exponential, and that those impacts that have been historically a concern will be less of a concern. There's still, the trail damage concerns that people come up with and things like that. But I am a firm believer, as a lifelong public lands advocate, that we have this tapestry of strictly protected spaces, which is really limited. There's wilderness that's strictly protected in places like that, but the vast majority of our land is in BLM, is in Forest Service, places that tend to have access, multiple use, grazing, logging, mining, extraction. Those things are still happening and will keep happening, so that there's plenty for everyone. But there certainly are those pockets, and you'll find those pockets, particularly state by state, on state land, where you'll see some changes happening, more so probably than at the federal level.
So you're thinking there's going to be a push to build out infrastructure in the next decade or two to accommodate electric vehicles in general?
Yeah, I think we've seen some investments there, from Congress already, right, with the infrastructure law and some of the Inflation Reduction Act stuff and other laws that have been passed just in the last 2 years. Yeah. A lot of electric infrastructure has been part of that. Not kind of, backcountry motorcycle charging access, but we're also seeing such improvement in solar. People that are bringing their toy haulers out, they're going to have the charging capability right on their unit, and so instead of hauling a big tank of gas, they're going to have batteries, and they're so it's going to be curious to see how the market keeps up with that and what the transition is like and how quickly it happens.
Yeah, because running loud generators isn't going to fix it. In terms of noise.
That's right. A lot of the country, they don't give a poop where you go riding in the Tennessee mountains or the Black Hills. Here in California, we're very restricted where we can go ride. And what comes up a lot is the noise. But there's another factor that Emma and I learned about. Emma, do you remember when we took the off-road class at the Honda facility down in Southern California? And one of the things he mentioned was that you got to also keep in mind dirt bikes may pick up seeds and plants, and then you go to another place and you drop them off.
Invasive species.
Invasive species is another big part of it that I think we don't really think about.
I think the boaters deal with that more than we do.
But I was going to say, that's the parallel. The boating community have been dealing with this for a long, long time. And a few lakes throughout the U.S. have had their native species decimated because of boaters bringing in invasive species. I think it's less of an issue, but I think it's something to be... The thing I enjoyed the most about the Honda course, and we did it as we were students, so there was no difference for us as journalists. And of course, they teach you how to ride the bike, and they teach you how to ride the bike responsibly, but they teach you how to tread the trail responsibly.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
And I really appreciated that. They said, look, you're going to be riding through these environments. This is what you're going to encounter in California. Here's how you make the least impact on the environment, so it's going to be there for your children and your children's children to enjoy, which I thought was a very, very responsible way of dealing with it.
Yeah, and the thing you'll find more and more now with boats, right, are the boat washing stations. There's many bodies of water now you cannot take your boat to until you've been inspected and you go through a boat washing station. So, who knows if that's, the tire inspection station or tire, what that is. But no, I really appreciate, your perspective on that, because I agree. It's everything from the oil and gas spillage, and along the way to parts being left out, and who knows what.
That's what I wanted to ask you, your perspective. What are all the factors in prohibiting vehicles from going in areas?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. What we find is that leave no trace ethic just doesn't exist in large numbers of people. And so the campsites that just don't get cleaned up, the fires that start because of cigarette butts and campfire, people not putting out their breakfast campfire, the food that gets left behind. So the wildlife interactions, the bears and the other animals that come and they get habituated to human food. I mean, and this doesn't even begin to talk about the trail riding and some of the things that you're talking about. So there's so many potential impacts that the more we can get people to think about the environmental impact from the time they leave their personal garage, to the time they get back to it, and all the points in between, the better. And so to hear that there are training facilities like that focusing on, that low impact experience, that low impact travel, and because what the public sees, this has always been a challenge for us, is that the public sees you just launching through the dunes and just tearing shit up, and so it just reinforces a bias that's already there, and so that's where we as Rally for Rangers are trying to create this space where motorcycles are part of environmental protection, because so many people in our country see them as tools of destruction, and because of the imagery, we all love to watch a great Red Bull jump and all these different things, but when somebody thinks about all of the impact of some of those things, they're less likely to support it, and so the more we can show that those givebacks are happening, and that that we're taking care, and that this happened recently where a group got together and they just started an annual cleanup, and they made it very public, and they invited people who weren't riders, but they were the organizers of it. And so so showing that we care, we're going to clean this up before we go. Come on out with us. Let's have a barbecue and let's all clean it up together, building community that way. So those kind of things can really help also.
Now, for you as a previous cruiser rider, now an adventure rider, how do you feel finding trails to ride and places to go, and your impact as a biker on these trails, but also being a ranger and knowing how much that impact plays in?
Yeah.
How has that changed for you?
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of it is about knowing where I am, and it's kind of like hunting that way, right? With where you're hunting. Know where you are, know whose land you're on, just because that's one of the ways that you can get things shut down is by riding in the wrong place, on the wrong person's land. That's what BDR does such a great job of outlining that. But when I go out on my own, I always want to know where I am so that I know that I'm not getting, I never make a choice. I'm like, I think it'll be okay. I never make that choice. I always just pivot because of who I am and because of my day job as well. Yeah. But I'm just not going to risk shutting down an area's trails because I chose the wrong path. So that's part of it when I go, because that's mostly what I'm doing now in terms of the adventure riding is not a ton of trail riding on the 800, a little bit here and there, but mostly it's the gravel road, the 2-track, the farm road. And so you just don't know when you're crossing a boundary, because they're not all marked.
Now that you're an adventure rider, has your brain clicked? I think like everybody here, we see those dirt roads going up those hills, and it's like, how do I get there?
Everywhere we go. I mean,
right? Do you see it now? And
all
you're like,
the time. Oh yeah. It's like what I used to do with skiing. I would see lines everywhere as I'm driving. Right? There's a line. I want to ski that line. I want to ski that line. And it happens on the Mongolia rallies because there are so many goat tracks that are 8 inches wide. Yeah, 8 inches wide that just snake through the steppe. And you get on one of those and you just flow through those things. And so we're always looking for those, and diving off onto those. So you're right. You get the eyes for it and you're just kind of like, you salivate when you see. But I'm always trying to mentally check myself as like, is there, because you just never know when you're hitting a boundary. And I just don't want to, anger the wrong person.
Yeah. And the reason that I was bringing up the e-bikes is it's kind of like, the evolution of man from Neanderthal, right? Where like you go from the mountain bike, which is unrestricted, to the e-bike, which is kind of in this in between, to the electric motorcycle, to a gas motorcycle. And like, it's hard. Where do you qualify them? But also, does that open doors for motorcyclists to go places that they've just been banned before by a presumed, damage or violation. I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. And I've also been curious to know, I think, and some studies might show this, but does the e-bike crowd, do any of them matriculate into motorcycling then, I wonder? All of a sudden they get on powered two wheels for the first time.
I don't think so from the conversations I've had.
There's no transfer there.
They're their own thing.
Yeah.
And they're very, very much into electric propulsion.
Right.
And it's almost like the propulsion is number one.
Yeah.
So it's not, you're not going to find them jumping off of e-bikes and getting on, KTM 690s.
Yeah, no, of course.
The propulsion is one of the key things, Bagel, sorry.
Yeah, agree.
Well, I was just going to add to it, too, that I think part of the attraction is that electric bicycles, there's no licensing requirement. There's no registration. There's no insurance. There's no titling. None of that is in the picture. It's hassle free. So I think that makes it a lot more attractive as well.
For sure.
Where for a lot of those people who are into electric bicycles, stepping up to an electric motorcycle, it's like you're taking on all this extra burden and cost that almost in a lot of cases, if you're not doing high speed riding, which you generally don't do off-road, it's like that's almost counterproductive.
Well, it's also a commitment to ride dirt where we're at. I mean, we got to ride, at least an hour to get to a park, but 5 or 6 hours to get to the desert. You can ride in the Santa Cruz Hills in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'll give you an example of somebody who went from internal combustion to electric, and very successfully. Is one of my clients, and obviously I'm not going to name him. He owns a very, very successful classic car restoration business, and so of course he's got money's not an issue, and he has a cabin up in the I think it's up near Shasta, and traditionally he's kept a couple of Honda CT90s up there for him and his partner. And they've had them for many, many years. But of course, you go through the same thing. You go through batteries, you go through stale gasoline, you go blah, 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 blah. And he recently sold them on Bring a Trailer and got buku bucks for these things and bought a couple of electric bikes. And he said, look, I'm presented with something that's always ready for me to use, cost less than the CT90, is infinitely more reliable, is quieter. He sees it as having far less impact on the trail. And these are electric bicycles with oversized knobby tires. So it worked for him. Whether it's how that's going to translate when we get into the bigger machines, but I saw his electric bicycles, and in comparison to his old CT90s, there was absolutely no comparison. It was a far superior machine. But I should also point out it was also a 50-year younger machine in terms of design.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to drag you in a controversial topic. I just see you got mountain bikes and e-bikes, and there's not a huge difference. And then from e-bikes to electric motorcycles, not a big difference. An electric motorcycle,
big difference in power.
To get yes, but there's these small steps. And where do you draw the line? And that's where we're at right now. And if you move that line, okay, we'll allow the e-bikes. Oh, but now why can't you allow the electric motorcycles? Right. But also, could it open doors to allow us to go more places and possibly ride in national parks?
Right. You know what I see us competing with as far as access, or not competing with, but joining with in an odd way. It's very similar to, Ducks Unlimited and wildlife conservation, like out in the Delta, in the rice paddies, is it's the side-by-sides and the other power sports out there. Because since COVID, this side-by-side and the four-wheelers and that stuff has grown exponentially.
Yeah,
so I see, and it seems like they have, maybe it's just sheer numbers, but more of a chance at lobbying to open access to things. I know it's a different conversation. You're talking about being quiet and all that kind of stuff, but motorcyclists are such a small percentage of the people that access the outdoor world. You start talking about hunters and side-by-side people. That's the lion's share of who has access to that.
I don't think I've seen any side-by-side electrics coming out yet. Has anybody seen those? I haven't seen them.
Did they have them at the show?
No, I think
Volcon has one.
They do.
Yeah.
Tom, I think it's just because we just get this I want to go there attitude, but then you have to be reminded, and you have this perspective like, oh, but it's the mating season for the frog, or there's things that we're not aware of that greatly affect. I mean, that's why you're not supposed to go off trail. That's a simple thing you guys deal with all the time. I was even amazed that, like, in Zion last year, this woman went off the trail and was lost, and she was not far at all from this common trail that I do all the time when I'm in Zion. It's like, stay on the trail. Why is this so hard?
Yeah.
Stay on the trail.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are places you can go off trail. There are cross country, opportunities in the backcountry and wilderness and things like that. Like, there's a time and a place for it. But in the, congested areas and busy areas, you have to. Otherwise, everything is denuded. Like, it's just destroyed. And as you said, there are climbing closures, for peregrine falcon nesting and all kinds of different things that happen in different trail closures and things like that. But I mean, to me, and even in the e-bike realm, there's the 3 tiers, the 3 power tiers of e-bike, and even the top power tier is not allowed, on like trails where the lower tiers are because of speed, because of impact, equestrian traffic, human traffic, and so the more speed that gets carried, the more potential for conflict and injury and things like that. So that's some of the barriers to a full powered machine on a trail, whether it's electric or not. But yeah, there's so many nuances to this topic. It's a fascinating one.
So now let's go back to you and your F800 GS.
Mm-hmm.
So you're now the adventure guy. Have you been going on any adventures here in America on your bike?
I am a adventure guy. Not the adventure guy.
You know what I mean, but
yes.
you've got...
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. And see, that's the beauty of me. As I said before, I'm a decent motorcycle rider. I'm not a very good motorcycle owner.
Yes.
So that makes every ride an adventure.
Yeah. I like those guys because that's my business.
Yes, exactly. I love to keep you in business, and that makes every ride for me an adventure, because I don't know how to fix a lot of the things that go wrong, and so for me, the adventure riding, we've got something down south of us in Virginia called Penmerrill Farm. Have you heard of Penmerrill?
Mm-mm.
Penmerrill is an equestrian and motorcycle farm.
What?
Yeah. And they've got lodges, they've got RV units, and they have stalls for your motorcycle. So let's say you live in D.C., don't want a trailer back and forth for the season. You can rent a stall, former horse stall, and keep your gear and your motorcycle in with the hay in the stall. And,
I was going to say, did they provide the hay?
it's waiting for you when you come back. So they also have horses, but it's run by a couple and their family, and so they have trails, they have trainings for motorcycles and for horses. And so we go down there with groups periodically just for fun, and you can either go down and ride yourself, just do single track riding. They've got cones and barrels. You can set up your own challenge course. They have a fabulous hillside mode trail course.
Whoa.
So if you can't make the corner, you just go into the tall grass. Like you're not going off the side of the mountain. And it's just tremendous training ground. So we have tons of fun there at Penmerrill. So that's a place that we target on the weekends.
This is cool. They have a swimming pool too.
Yes.
I think I like that.
So you bring the whole family, and people who don't ride can swim. They can ride horses while you're off doing the motorcycle thing. Penmerrill's it's a gift. It's really a great
cool
place.
logo. It's a horse blended with a motorcycle.
It just reminds me, I just wanted to do a shout out to Daniel at Broken Arrow Horse Camp in Custer.
Nice. Yes.
Our friend Daniel that we've visited there. He's a biker
who
has a horse camp. But if you want to put bikers up when you're there too, there's cabins. It's a great facility.
Love it. That sounds good. Yeah, so there's a lot of that. Of course, the Mid-Atlantic BDR is almost through my backyard.
Have you done it?
So we can jump just portions, not the whole thing, just sections of it. And so that's just one of the. So this is one of the challenges, right?
Yeah.
So we've got this full-time job, and then I've got this other full-time job.
Yeah.
And trying to manage and run this volunteer nonprofit work and launch all these new initiatives and do films and all this stuff. Like, there's very little time left to ride. And I'm lucky that there's a Bikes and Breakfast event that happens in Maryland and Virginia every other Sunday, and it's 2 blocks from my house. So I can always go. I can walk there if I want to.
So you're in DC?
I'm in Poolesville, Maryland, just outside of DC. Yeah. So I don't get as much riding in as I would like. But when I do, we've got a growing group of alumni of our alumni that live near me. I've got at least 3 now. Herbert Green just turned 80. Herbert turned 80 1 month after he got back from our Peru rally.
That's great.
Amazing.
Nice.
And then he went to Bhutan the same year and did the Bhutan rally.
Nice.
And so Herb is our hero. And so he lives nearby. Craig went to Peru. Eric went to Bhutan, and he's just signed up for Black Hills. So most of our riders are from the Bay Area. We have them from all over the world, but really California for the most part. If we have 70 alumni, I'm saying 50 of them are from the Bay Area. But more now from other areas, and including near where I am.
So, and since you're in the DC area, have you been to the Air and Space Museum to see Aaron's bike yet?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
I still owe her a photo because the Air and Space is like 3 blocks from my office. And so I'm fortunate to be very close to there. And I missed the opening. But yeah, super psyched to have her in the speed display in there. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was there not too long ago, in fact.
She's in Patagonia adventure riding right now.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So jealous. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Oh, here I am. Hey, there's my picture I sent her. I'm sure she's getting peppered by all these people taking pictures and sending it to her. Hey, here I am. Yeah, it was really cool to go see that. So you're near the AMA offices. They're not too far from there.
I thought the AMA was in Ohio.
No, they're a block over from the Capitol. They had a rooftop view.
I did not know that because I went to the AMA museum. What is the museum?
Well,
that's
their headquarters is in Ohio.
Yeah,
but they have
but
a
the
office.
bureaucratic
headquarters
branch
Yeah,
is in DC.
Okay, so they're
they were in the same building as C-SPAN.
Okay, so they're down on the Capitol Hill side.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, you should go visit them. That's why I stopped in and gave him a chat. In fact, perfect segue. There's another thing that they are fighting, and this kind of dirt bikes. Again, this is just crazy, the stuff that they're having to get involved with. Did you guys hear there's a new Senate bill in New York City right now that prohibits the sale of dirt bikes and ATVs in New York?
Really?
Yes.
In New York State.
In the city of New York.
Oh.
What are they related to? Is it emissions or behavior?
12 o'clock boys.
How many dirt bike shops are there in New York City?
Well,
I mean, I'm sure there's several.
Here's the thing. There are so many like stolen dirt bikes and 12 o'clock, the guy hooligans and stuff riding them. So they're just banning the sale. But that means that all the dirt bike riders who legally own their dirt bikes, who, trailer and go ride legal trails, are not allowed to sell their bikes in New York City.
Like private sales are not allowed?
That's a dangerous precedent.
Now they'll have to go to New Jersey to sell their bike. And it's another one of these things where it's casting a net that's getting law-abiding citizens too. And this, again, is why we have the AMA. They have to get involved. It says this bill prohibits the sale of ATVs and off-highway motorcycles in the city of New York, provides enforcement mechanisms and penalties, requires each purchaser of an ATV purchased for use in the state of New York to sign a declaration which will state that such purchaser understands all laws and regulations governing the use of such ATV, blah, 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 blah. And it goes on and on and on. And it's like, you can't do that, man. Can you imagine?
Isn't New York? Is it what they do in the other thing by stopping people and sweating them? And wasn't that New York also?
Yeah,
what we were just talking about. Yeah,
they have the motorcycle checkpoints where they pull everybody over and then give them tickets.
I want to go back to what you just said, Liza. Is this an outright ban, or is just a ban unless you'd sign a disclaimer?
No, this is an outright ban in the state. To
the city.
City.
In the city. So
in the
city.
Okay.
For the sale.
No, that's unsustainable. That's an incredibly dangerous precedent.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think that's enforceable.
Yeah, that's why I'm always keeping up with the AMA and what they're doing. So thank you to them for staying on top of it. So you've gone from the Cruiser to the F800. Are you lusting for anything else? Has this awakened the beast in you?
Yeah, there was no question that there's a plethora of bikes that I would like to add. Right now, it's a smaller bike. That I would love to have a dirt bike, smaller enduro, something that my bike is really tall for me. It's really big and it's not as nimble as I'd like it to be. And I'm sure that I could make it more nimble if I spent the time. But there's some trails right near my house on some friends' property that they're always out riding, on their dirt bikes. And so I would love to have something smaller. That would be the next thing I would do if I just had, whatever.
So
walking around money.
Like a 250 or something?
Yeah, 250, 300, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Jim, do you still have a rally for sale?
No. I never see you one. How about that?
The rally is long gone.
It's in Idaho, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, the rally rate is in Idaho.
They're out there. That's not the issue. They're there to buy.
Oh, yeah, they're waiting for you.
That's right.
It's one with your name on it.
That's right. I am building a trailer. That's kind of fun. Tricking out a trailer.
You've gotten that itch, huh?
Yes. I got it last year. And so I've got the insulation in, the electrical's in. I've got my pit bull restraint system is in. I've done my first trip with it. Yeah, that's been and it's got room for one or two more bikes in there.
Craig, how have you not become the I'm building a trailer guy? That seems right up your alley, man.
Yeah, I don't know where to start.
Yeah,
pair of wheels
with a good trailer.
How about a car that can pull a trailer? Do you have that?
I do have that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of our problem. We have a car that needs to pull. It's a lightweight build, but yeah. So there she is. She's just sitting in there, ready to go. So that's
nice,
kind of the start.
Yeah, get a lightweight dirt bike. It's such a treat.
Yeah. And I mean, the funny thing is that's what I ride overseas.
I was
everywhere.
going to say you've ridden them all over.
A bunch of different ones, And there was a stretch after I sold the Cruiser. Before I bought the GS, there was at least 3 years in there where I didn't ride, except for in Mongolia. Huh. And, that was just the nature of life at that point. Mm-hmm. And I would just go over there, get that new AG200 and ride it for 2 weeks and come home and wait for the next year and do it again. But I love that small bike riding.
I get it. I love the riding in Pakistan. And I tell Jim, over there, I tackle everything. I have so much running over here. I'm like, oh, I don't want to fall. Oh, I don't want to get hurt. Oh. I think for me, the big difference is big bikes and small bikes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's no question about it. That's dumping that little bike it's just not a thing. Again, I want to keep the bike safe. I don't want to give the Ranger a damaged bike, but I'm just not worried about coming off of it. Coming off the GS is a whole different thing.
That's the truth.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I do things over there that I wouldn't do here. And and some of these bridges, oh my God, let's go back to the movie. Bagel or Emma, were you guys able to watch any of the movie?
I watched a little. So Bagel's going to have to take this one from me.
Yeah. You see the bridges?
I did. Look very familiar.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Those long suspension bridges.
Yep. Yeah,
they're fun to ride.
Just waiting to catch a handlebar.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yet, what when you're on one, and let's see if you have the same experience as we have. The boards are not all tightly fastened, and there's this click clack, and every now and then there's gaps or missing or broken boards, and you're kind of weaving around. And the bridge, they can sway and move a little bit, and it's very uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
But
like trying to ride on Jello.
Yeah, but also this woohoo, I did it. But so I had a situation on a bridge 2 trips ago where I didn't think I was gonna make it and made a poor decision. I went over a bridge we didn't need to go over, but it looked like fun and it was there, and it turned out to be an old narrow pedestrian bridge with very low side rails that started swaying in the middle.
Yeah, no fun.
And I was looking down at the raging river and calculating how fast I would sink in all my gear. And all I could do was just keep on the throttle. I had my feet down. I was duck paddling across and just don't stop. But also picturing my death.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here you are.
Exciting stuff.
To tell the tale.
But that was the first time I went too far.
Mm-hmm.
I took a risk. I don't know. Something about on these trips, I feel invincible.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So I don't know if you remember some of the footage, some of the GoPro footage with the exposure.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my GoPro footage.
Yep.
And I did not remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I looked at it after the fact, I was like, I must have been so hyper focused because I would have been freaked out at a 2,000-foot vertical drop off, 3 feet to my right.
Yep.
And it was bouncy and it was slippery and same sort of thing.
And then you got blind turns in the middle of it where you don't know something's coming the other
and you
way.
have vehicles coming the other way.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right. Liza, that what you just said, we had the opposite experience from the bridge that you didn't need to take.
Yeah.
We had like a hour-long river crossing in Mongolia 2018 to get all 15 bikes across. It was deep. It was fast. We submerged at least 3 or 4 of the bikes, and had to get them out, drain them, and it was arduous. And I think there's some video of me in this pushing one of the riders out of that river crossing. And so we spent and just soaking wet. Everything's wet. And then we all get on our bikes finally, and we kind of go upslope a little ways to kind of dry out and relax. And we look upstream. There's a bridge. So it was a bridge that had been built since our guide had last been
how
there.
funny.
And we just lost it, right? I mean, what are you going to do? You can't make that stuff up,
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it just was one of those moments where like, okay, this is it. And then the other one that's also in the film was we were supposed to have a ferry across. This was 2019, and we got to the ferry, and it's one of these the water-driven, self-powered, the hydro-powered ferry. So I mean, the force of the water takes it across, and the ferry captain's not there. There's nobody there to get us across. And so we're like, how long do we wait? And we wait and we wait.
Wait.
An hour goes by.
Wait, if the force of the water gets you across, how does it come back?
Same thing. You just pivot, just like a sailboat.
Oh,
right in the wind.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it's a catamaran, and so the cats are pointing upstream, and if you point them this way, it pushes across, and if you point them this way, it'll push you back. So the force of the water is what brings, and it's on a cable. Right, so it stays on the cable. So
okay.
Physics and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so no ferry captain. Hours later, we start to try. Well, let's just do it. We're just going to take it across. We'll figure this out. And so we load 6 bikes on. We get halfway across. It's actually tethered by lock underwater cable.
Oh no!
So you can't steal the ferry.
Oh.
So we had to bring it all the way back. And then we tried for a while to pick the lock. We finally gave up and set up camp. And the next day, the ferry captain came. He had the date wrong. And we got across. So it's like, this is one of these things on these adventures. When you're buying a ticket to join us next year in Mongolia, like things can happen that you just can't even plan or imagine.
That's the truth.
That's adventure, right? That's what it means.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It is an adventure ride.
That's right.
And here you are talking about the ferry crossing with the ferry and getting the bikes across and seeing the bridge. If you'd have taken the bridge, you'd have forgotten about it already.
That's right. This is what we talk about. This is what we talk about.
If the captain was there and you just got on it and it was uneventful, you'd have forgotten about it already.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's the nature of adventure, the unexpected, the unplanned. Those events, those are the things. And every rally has its moment. Every one, we can look back to 1 or 2 singular moments like that on each of our rallies. And there's a book in there somewhere too coming.
So let's get to the big plugs now. Namibia's
full.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a wait list. That was no surprise. Like our alumni came out of the woodwork for our first ever Africa rally. The cool thing about Namibia is that the bikes aren't going to park rangers. They're going to community rangers.
Nice.
So
I know what this is. This is cool.
Turns out that wildlife don't just stay in the park. They actually leave.
Those pesky rascals.
But the rangers don't. Their authority ends at the boundary. So the poachers can just sit outside and wait. So we're equipping community rangers.
They lure them.
They lure them. Absolutely.
Yes.
They bait them out. And so we're equipping the community rangers in this particular park in Namibia who patrol then that outer area with new motorcycles. So
they're actually deputized, or
they are. They, you know, and I don't know yet all of the details of what their particular brand of law enforcement is.
Right.
But they have the authority to do those patrols and to do that work. Yeah. So super excited about that. So that one is full and has a waiting list. We still have several seats left on Mongolia this year, going to the Gobi Desert, and so that is
Jim. You like the desert?
Yeah.
Yes. And so that's in September, and so we're definitely looking for some adventurous souls for the Mongolia rally this year. And again, that's rallyforrangers.org is where the applications are, and you can learn more about each of those rallies there.
And are you lining up next year already?
Not lining up 24 yet. We don't know where the Bhutan would like us to return. Peru would like us to return. Mongolia is every year, so that's dialed. But we're not, and then we just accept applications on a revolving basis. So if somebody just wants to apply just to get their name in, they can apply anytime. And then the Black Hills event, that's going to start with an internal advertisement. We're going to go, to the alumni community first and see who we get there, and then we'll go public with that hopefully by the end of this month and get that.
So give us all your social and your email and website.
Yeah, everything's Rally for Rangers. So super simple. Rallyforrangers.org. Facebook, Rally for Rangers. Instagram, Rally for Rangers. YouTube, Rally for Rangers. So that's where you'll find. We have a lot of short video content, a lot of reels. The Instagram for some reason got taken away from us. And that was in 2021. We lost our site. And so we lost everything we had, and we had to start over about a year ago. And so we're just rebuilding. We just cracked 1,000 followers 2 weeks ago, maybe. So we're just clawing our way back on Instagram. So anybody out there, just, give a follow, and we don't post a ton, but there's some really just fabulous content.
Yeah, I just posted on our IG. So hopefully people catch it from there.
When you see this movie, for all our listeners out there, and see what the plight of some of these animals and communities are going through, you're going to want to get involved.
Yep.
So I would encourage everyone out there, every single listener out there, to check out Rally for Rangers, because you might have an idea of what you think they're about, but once you start diving in, there's a lot of facets that I wasn't even aware of before.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's my question. If people aren't looking to come on a trip, how can they support you?
Yeah. Well, first things first, just share. Just like that. Like we're, with the story we have and the content and what we're doing, like this should just catch on like wildfire, right? It just is just for people consuming beautiful, important, necessary, and feel good stories and information. But of course, there's always opportunities to donate as well. We've got a donate tab.
You guys are 501c3.
501c3 here in the U.S. So we're just writing we've been writing our tax letters like crazy for all of our donors from 22 during tax season here. So absolutely. Then there's donate button on there, PayPal. You can send a check, however people want to do that.
Help sponsor a rider?
Yeah, and then look for the riders' bios. We put the bios up on the website for each one of our riders, and you can go to their individual GoFundMe pages and fund individual riders that way. So there's a lot of ways to support, and of course, buy yourself or your loved ones tickets to the sweepstakes, because
Patreon money, I'm going to use it.
Really good way to do it.
Last time you were here, I used Patreon money to help contribute to the fundraising for the film.
Yep.
So thank you, Patreon, for that.
You.
And this time I'm going to buy tickets to try and send a misfit on the rally.
Love it.
Pick
me.
Well, who do I pick? Everyone here in this room.
We'll put another Rally for Rangers game show together to select the winner, maybe.
Oh, that would be good.
High stakes. High stakes. And we can do it before the draw, so it just whoever, wins can be the one that's selected if you win the draw.
And Bagel, I just need to check. If you have to ride a motorcycle, not a scooter, would you be interested in going?
I think I could handle that.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, Bagel.
Wow, that's a big
That's
stretch.
commitment. He's inspired.
In. It's a good cause if Bagel's going to be on a motorcycle.
Right. And Tom, I'll put my money where my mouth is. Put me down for 5 tickets.
Ooh.
They're going to go in. Wow. They'll go in the same pool as the Misfits tickets. So if the winning ticket is in there, we'll do the same. We'll choose a Misfit. Or maybe a Patreon subscriber to go on the rally.
I was going to say that might be cool.
Beautiful.
If we use the Patreon money, should we pick a Patreon?
I think that's a good idea.
I like that. That's a better idea.
I like that idea. Yeah.
Or we
me
have a
down
hot
for
dog eating
5.
contest.
So if you want to be part of it, join Patreon also. So it's a
This is like
Or
later.
a misfit and a Patreon member, the two that are selected, battle it out on the game
there you
show.
go.
Oh, head
I was
to
gonna
head.
say on our mini bike challenge course.
Yeah.
Slot racing.
Oh,
Yeah, we didn't
I
mention.
lapped you like 4 times.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, Emma, since we didn't have a lot going on in the garage, we set up the slot car racing track.
Oh,
today.
yeah, I did that a few Christmases ago. It's great.
Yeah, Jim and I had a lot of fun with that. Well, Tom, I want to thank you for coming out and sharing. What you're doing is great. It's inspired partly, something I did on my trip. I think the only thing is you can't possibly do enough trips to fulfill everybody who would want to come because you're a volunteer.
Yeah.
It's time to quit
It's
your
all
day job. Huh?
volunteers.
Yeah, we're getting there. This will be the second career. No, thanks for that. And again, for your passion and this community, that's the thing that's been new to me. So when I switched over to adventure riding, I found a new community.
Right.
I found a new tribe. I just didn't ever have that on the road. And it's there for the road. It absolutely is. I just didn't find it. I found it through Rally for Rangers, through the adventure community, the group of alumni that have become some of my best friends in the world. We just all traveled to Colorado together for the film premiere. And that's just amazing. And to be here again and for Jim to invite me again and others, to the folks on, from RevZilla and as you mentioned, AMA and others, like the support, it's overwhelming. And it's really cool because we all want the same thing, and that's just,
Well,
to
you're doing
protect this
great
planet.
things, and that's it makes it easy to support because it's
There's a lot of
Well,
great things out there.
And I think you've tapped into something as we all have with the Pakistan trips. And you've got a phrase for it. What is it called again? The
Adventure philanthropy.
adventure
I like that.
I like that
so much.
That's good.
Then and it's a slippery slope now that you're doing not just giving bikes but giving other stuff because now you've opened the doors wide.
Yeah.
There's
Well, we're giving it to Rangers,
so much
it's all
you
about
can
Rangers.
do
But that's right.
around the world. There's
That's right.
so much you can do. So I'm gonna work on seeing if I can put something together for you in Pakistan.
I love it. We would just jump all over that.
Save the snow leopards or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we can connect, the Rangers from one country to another. One of the Rangers from Mongolia might be going to the Namibia trip. And just the cross-pollination of Rangers meeting each other, that cultural exchange. I mean, that's, too, a big part of what it is. So who knows where that could lead us, with
Oh,
Pakistan
I wonder if we
places
could get
like
them
that.
hooked up with the Rangers at the border ceremony.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Wagga?
And
The Wagga
ceremony,
border
yeah.
ceremony.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, they wear these big headdresses and they have these uniforms and they go out and do it's the Ministry of Silly Walks. And it's the stadium that is built on the border between Pakistan and India. And there's the Rangers from both countries trying to
Different kind of Rangers though.
out march each other in this stadium and get the crowd going nuts.
Yeah.
And the Pakistani guys, to mock the vegetarian Indian guys, they only hire people who are 6'6" and taller. They're these incredibly tall rangers. I know it's a different kind of ranger, but still, it's fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
Well, we got quite a bit of emails to catch up on, so let's get to them. Emma, I sent you an email. Were you able to retrieve it?
I did indeed. And this email is from Michael Don.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Do you think he is a Don? If I read it wrong, do you
The
think I'll
Don.
end up with
The Don.
The Don. It's from Michael. Hola, Misfits.
Hola.
Hola.
First, belated congratulations on your 500th podcast.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed getting to know the different Misfit personalities and just the overall weekly motto, shooting the shit. So, my daily rider is a 2014 Bonneville T100. Very nice too, Michael. However, his questions regarding a 2015 Harley Davidson Road King. And he says, a few years back, I replaced the stock slip-ons with Vance and Hines Twin Slash. I really like the look, but I'm getting tired of the loud pipes. No shit, Michael. At this point in my life, he's the same age as me. He's 61. I don't give a crap if my bike sounds like a washing machine. Question is, can I quiet down these Vance & Hise slip-ons? I've installed baffles that didn't do much. Does anyone know if there's anything I can do to these aftermarket slips? P.S. Thank you, Liza, for mentioning itchy boots.
You're welcome.
A few months ago, I've become slightly obsessed with the Gal's World Travels. You ain't the only
Aren't
one,
we
Michael.
all?
A lot of us think. So that's Mike D's in Southern California. Listen, I want to talk a little bit about mufflers. And I'm not going to go on a long tangent because we are pushed for time. If you regard an engine as an air pump, it sucks stuff in, it does shit to it, and it pushes it out. And the more efficiently you can get air in and the more efficiently you can get air out, theoretically, the more power you've got. That is why when you look at the intake on a sport bike, they've got these giant plenum chambers. And if you look at the exhaust system, the very, very complex design. Harley Davidson, you got two big jugs going wugga. 2015, that's probably a 96 cubic inch, so it's the same as my Superglide. It's a big old pistons pushing a lot of exhaust gases out. In short, there's not much you can do with those slip-ons. When you pick up a stock Harley Davidson muffler, the first thing you're taken with is how much the bloody thing weighs. And the reason it weighs so much is the gas is going backwards, then forwards, then backwards, then to the left, to the right, and all the time they're taking some of the sound out of it, the high notes out of it, but still giving you sufficient flow through and sufficient back pressure. And that's a conversation for another day. Aftermarket pipes like Vance & Hines, they dispense with a lot of that. They're a lot lighter weight, and they look like $1 million, but they are very, very hard to damp down. I'll tell you this. My Superglide, which I love dearly, has stock pipes on it still for a reason, and it doesn't sound like a washing machine. People make the mistake, and Harley-Davidson riders are often most guilty of this. More noise means better noise, and that's not true. You need really to accentuate the bass tones. These are the tones that our ears like, and keep the bass tones in and take the staccato, the high tones out of it. And oftentimes you have very, very loud pipes. Cobras are the same, especially if you put them on metric cruisers, and you get these really raspy high tones, and it is not a pleasant noise, and it's just loud as hell. I would see he's already got the baffles in. The pipes I like the most by Vance & Hines, they do these things called fatties, and they're giant diameter. They're like 4.5 inch, 5 inch diameter, and they sound great, and they're not super loud, and maybe, go down that route. But don't discount putting the stock pipes back on it. If you're riding this thing any distance, the last thing you want to do is having somebody banging 2 trash can lids right behind you,
Yeah, and oftentimes the stock pipes don't have a lot of value because most people don't want to put stock pipes on. They're taking them off, and a lot of them get just thrown away.
But you would be surprised how many people say to me, damn, that Superglide sounds good. And there are so many Harleys out there with modified pipes. You forget. Harley-Davidson were very, very clever with their noise control. And they wanted their bikes to sound good without, while complying with US regulations, with Euro 3, Euro 4, Euro 5 regulations. They were very, very clever about it. A lot of the stock Harley systems have got very, very clever baffling in them. So, that maybe that's a route that you should take, Michael. Get yourself a cheap pair of stock mufflers off, Facebook Marketplace. You probably get a pair for $100. Your eardrums will thank you, darling.
And if that doesn't work,
your neighbors too.
You just stick some socks in your pipes. You'll be fine.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the sock trick.
Potato.
Potato.
Hey, guys, I have one here from our friend Kellen.
Hi, Kellen.
He says, "Hey, I'm a new listener and Patreon supporter. I just finished all of the 2022 podcast, and I'm working my way to the current." He says, "I wanted to comment on the Easy Rider remake episodes. This is a bit of a throwback, but they announced they're remaking Easy Rider, and we asked people for their elevator pitch, their submission on what it should be, and he's got a good one."
Yeah.
He says, "All right, imagine this. 2 hooligans in their 20s from a deeply urban inner city area. They've grown up snatching bikes and raising hell in their city, expert riders in their own right, but on the wrong side of the law. Like many, they've never left, but their ways finally catch up to them, and they have to either risk their lives staying or risk them fleeing the city. The only option is the only person they know that escaped the city, a cousin over on the West Coast. Without experience and only a destination, they leave the city on a DRZ and some big-ass 2-stroke. They're faced with both adversity and the redemptive value of good people and good community. All the while, through trials and victories for these boys and the people they encounter, eyes are being opened and souls filled."
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Good pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Wow.
it's a great pitch, but they should be girls.
And it should be Birmingham instead of the United States. It should Birmingham,
Yeah,
England.
they should be breaking out of Brum.
And I think it starts with they illegally buy dirt bikes in New York City.
Why
That's
illegally?
right. No,
Because it's illegal to buy them.
Oh, that's right.
The story should be that long stretch from downtown Birmingham breaking out to Sutton Coldfield, a distance of 10 miles, heading to suburbia.
On stolen bikes. On stolen Nortons.
On stolen bike, yes, exactly. No, that's a great pitch.
I like that.
It's got everything. Yeah, I like the whole kind of redemption thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I think all of us have been a bit naughty when we're younger and have seen the error of our ways.
I like crossing the country on a DRZ, doing dank wheelies the whole time.
Or you said a big 2-stroke, like a
Yeah,
CR500.
CR500.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Watch it for that.
CR500 with a lighting kit.
All right, John, you've got one that
I do.
I always like these.
Actually, before I jump into this, I want to give a shout out. So I ran into somebody yesterday. I believe her name was Sherry from Australia.
I was glad it wasn't Henry.
With a friend of a friend. Sherry's husband, I guess, is a listener, and she got all excited when she found out that the Misfits were right here.
Oh, cool.
So it was kind of cool. So I don't know who your name is in Australia, but hey, I met your wife, man. She's cool.
Good on you.
Be careful, man. Careful.
Good on you.
So this is from Andy.
Hey, Andy.
This probably would have been a Bagel one.
Andy.
He's from Germany, from Hamburg.
Cool.
He says, "Howdy, just landed in LA. If everything's going well, we should be at the garage on the 19th. Quite some time since my last try in
Sounds like a threat.
2017 when I left a handwritten letter while visiting on a Saturday on the backside of an invoice from Arlen Ness. This time I bring my wife with me. Looking forward to it. Your long-term listener from Hamburg, Germany, Andy."
Hey, that's next weekend.
Yeah.
We're getting a visitor. Should we get
Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Let's save some gummies for him.
We'll have a fresh, unopened bag.
Fresh bag of dicks.
So
I wish I could be there.
I will be there as long as Wattsville can claw itself out from underwater.
Just get a canoe.
It was on, yes.
I just saw a
You know,
picture
it
of
made-
Watsonville. It's pretty underwater right now.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's another big storm coming in
Yeah, Monday
this
night.
week, so I think
Yep.
boats are going to be coming popular. Made the national news, it was on NBC.
Emma, I saw videos. I'm pretty confident you can go around the roadblock on your bike and get through just fine. I think you
Okay.
should try it.
I will. I will. No, I
And wear
mean,
your water
if
wings.
we've got a listener coming over from Germany,
Yeah, yeah.
I will go up to San Jose and come back over
That's
Highway
what Tom had to
17.
Did it. Did it. Do it.
Yeah.
Word.
Did it. Do
All
it.
right,
Done.
let's keep going around the room. Craig, what do you got there?
Rowdy Reimer.
Hey, Rowdy.
Rowdy! How are you, mate?
Rowdy Piper.
Hello, Misfits.
Hello.
As an alternative to the proposed automatic organ donation law
Yes.
for non-helmet wearing riders,
Yes.
perhaps a state could pass a law mandating that riders wear helmets, but make voluntary organ donors exempt from the helmet requirement.
So it's
That's a
accomplishing
good
the same
caveat. I
thing,
like
but
that.
instead of
Just a
forcing you,
thought.
but it's forcing you to wear the helmet. But then you get rewarded if you donate your organs, as opposed to the Looney Bill, which proposed you don't have to wear a helmet, but if you
But how do you
aren't wearing
enforce
one
that,
and you
though?
get crashed, we get to have your organs.
How about all of us wear helmets and be
There you
organ
go.
donors?
There you go. I like
That's
that
much
better.
better.
Yeah.
How about everyone just volunteers to do that? Jim, what you got?
All right. I've got one here from Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
Hey, Jordan. Hey, guys.
Jordan.
Love the podcast and love the garage. Longtime listener and longtime sender of emails. Probably listened to all your episodes 2 times each.
God.
Wow. Commitment to the game.
That's what happens when you
That's
live
like
in
a year and
Buffalo.
a half.
That's
Buffalo, New
dedication.
York. Anyway, I'm in Buffalo, New York. Name's Jordan. Yep. Engineering intern at a pharmaceutical company, TIG welder for 6 years, and student of mechanical engineering. Nice. Wish I knew what you did. Itching to fucking ride. Well, we're kind of with you these days. Got a 2013 Ninja 1000, not the ZX-10R, the Touring Ninja 1000, and a 2007 Sporty 1200. Here's interesting. I have a question about lowering my Ninja 1000 to make it look meaner. Not because I'm short. Any recommendations for good lowering links, or how easy of a job is it to do myself? And how low is too low? Would 2 inches be too much? Thanks, guys. Love the pod. Would love to ride down to Cali with my dad to visit one of these days. That'd be rad. And maybe when I'm done with school. Okay, much love, Jordan. Right on. He wants to make his ninja look meaner.
But not because of a Napoleon complex.
No.
Yeah, that would be me.
Oh, no. Of course not that.
Cut the spring, bro.
But it changes all the geometry and stuff, too, doesn't it?
Well, hang on. Links are okay, but 2 inches would be a long way. An inch is going to look radically different. And the key is, if you drop it an inch in the back, drop it an inch in the front. And dropping it an inch in the front is the easiest thing in the world. You just move the fork tubes up in the triple trees. That's it.
Yeah.
So just go for a good quality link. Gosh, who's doing lowering links these days?
So I just bought some from Devol, DEVOL, for my DRZ. They seem to be pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think the trick here is, so you have to get the lowering link, however low that goes, you just match it in the front. As long as you match the front and rear, you're not going to mess it up. Bagel, you had something to throw in?
Well, I just want to say that if you're doing that, though, you're also decreasing the angle that you're able to lean into the corners, too, because you're squatting the suspension down. So you're going to hit and you're scraping the sides a little bit sooner, aren't you?
There's no corners in Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're aware of that. I mean, to a certain extent, scraping out sport bikes is largely a thing of the past.
Said the man with 10-inch wheels.
And floorboards.
Well,
I think the other issue is
maybe I'm more prone to scraping than your average sport bike.
Right, exactly. But I mean, the other issue if you're regularly scraping a sport bike, I mean, you're heroic of epic proportions because generally they give you so much clearance on these things. And I mean, it's. I think if you were to lower a bike an inch front and back, it's going to look so different. And it might be the look that Jordan's exactly looking for. And he can always go more, because generally lowering links, they give you 2 settings. They give you the mid setting and then big setting. So try it on the mid, and if you don't like it, do it on the big setting, and just match it on the front.
I think the other issue is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Emma, it's his weight versus where the suspension is set for. Meaning, what I understand is that when you put lowering links on, it actually compresses the suspension, so you lose a little bit of your.
No. Links don't lower the suspension at all. The idea is of links is that you have exactly the same range of suspension movement. But because there are links and you're changing the angle between the linkage of the suspension and the swing arm itself, that's what moves it up. But no, You may change the preload a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Because, if you change the angles, the preload does change, but not by much.
Okay.
So you might find with links on, you've got to kind of dial it up a little bit more. Because if you think about it from a physics perspective, if the swing arm is down at a slight angle and your lengths make it so it's virtually parallel with the road, it's going to give a softer ride with the same shock springs because of the physics of it.
Right.
So you might have to dial it up a little bit.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say if Jordan's listened to every episode twice, he's going to listen to this one 3 times.
There you go.
Just to get all that.
Send us pictures. I want to see this ninja lowered.
Hey, John, you just did it. How hard is it to do?
It's easy.
Is it?
Yeah, I did it myself.
Oh, links. Yeah, it's the hardest part of putting links on is actually supporting the bike.
Exactly.
All right, I got to rush us along because we got one more, and this is an actual. We need to answer a question. Bagel, do you have your email?
I do. This is from Bill Maynard.
Hey, Bill.
Billy.
And Bill writes, "Hi, Misfits. This is Dog from Wabash, Indiana.
Sup, dog?
And I went to ask the Misfits to tell me why.
Tell me why.
I don't hear any conversation about, and I think this is a typo, a Piaggio MP5 scooter.
Oh, yeah.
I think he meant the MP3, but I'll come back to the MP5 in a minute.
That's a gun, MP5, I think.
He says, I would like to hear what the Misfits think about the MP3 scooter, the good and bad. Riding season is just around the corner here in Indiana, and I'm considering the Piaggio MP3. What do the Misfits think? Would the MP3 be a good scooter purchase? Thanks, Bill Dog Maynard."
I'll just say that I am. I really don't have an opinion. It's weird, so I like it because it's weird, but also like it's weird. So I.
Well, if we only had somebody who was in the scooters on this,
Yeah,
podcast.
I was going to defer to Bagel on this one.
I know. But no.
My opinion, for what it's worth, it's a scooter first and foremost, so it's a death trap.
Yeah, Bagel, what do you think? The scooter elitist, what do you think about it?
Okay, so I have.
Oh, I can already tell.
I'm not a fan of the MP3.
There it is.
I mean, it's an interesting bike, but honestly, the most appealing thing about it is its novelty.
Yeah,
I mean, it does have 3 points of contact with the road, which in some ways is slightly more stable, maybe in some situations.
I was going to say it's weird without a necessary advantage, you know?
Yeah, it's like it really doesn't give you that much of an advantage, if any. In fact, there are a lot of liabilities with it too. It does add a lot of weight because you have this whole massive front suspension that has to support both the wheels. It adds a lot more expense to the bike. If you ever get into a front end collision on an MP3, kiss it goodbye, because the cost of repairing an MP3 front end is cost prohibitive. There's just no way to pay for the labor. And people who don't know,
it's a 3-wheel scooter, right? With kind of like a Nike front end, right?
Yeah, 2 in the front.
Yeah, same idea as the Nike. It's a parallelogram front suspension, so both wheels are joined to the same fork tube, but they have a parallelogram suspension that suspends each wheel on either side, but they're both linked. So if you go over rough terrain, it just kind of swallows up all of that vibration and movement, and you really get a very smooth feeling when you're riding it. So if you don't like a lot of input on your handlebars, that would be one potential advantage of an MP3, where you have a very smooth ride that really doesn't give you a lot of feedback if you like that.
And I wanted to point out, it's a 3-wheeler, but it's not a trike. It doesn't necessarily give you that added stability.
Right. It rides just like, or very similar to a 2-wheeled bike. It does have a couple of little quirks. Be aware also that it does not stand up on its own while you are riding.
Oh, really?
No. It will flop to one side or the other.
Like the Nike, yeah.
Right. And now when you park it, there is a park feature that will lock the front suspension so that it will stand up on its own when it's parked. but that will auto release if you go over like 5 miles an hour. Because it's actually it's a danger to have that locked while you're riding because the handling becomes unpredictable then. So it's not a bike that you can just lock while you're riding and then just park it. So, and that was one of the misconceptions that a lot of people who bought MP3s early on were very disappointed about, because there were a lot of people who were some very short people, some people with disabilities who thought this was a bike that would stand up on its own, where they didn't have to balance it. But that's not the case. This is a bike that you need to balance.
I think that we should try and figure out a way to override that switch, so we can actually ride it with it locked.
Oh God!
See how
I like this idea. I like this idea.
And the same with an icon.
Oh gosh!
Well, make Jim do it first.
I'm in.
No, as you know, King Kong, my truck, has got the tilt cab.
Yeah.
And one of the first things I did was see if I could drive it with a cab tilted forward.
How'd that work out for you?
It was very dangerous. It was incredibly dangerous. And I actually drove it around the block with the cab tilted forward.
Oh, God.
Neighbors.
That's awesome.
Their houses ready to clear up the debris. So I think we should do the same with the MP3. Find out just how dangerous it is with it locked and see how fast we can go before one of us dies.
So,
yes.
I wanted.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I wanted to. Go ahead, Bagel. Go ahead.
Just so overall, I would say if you really want a novelty bike that's different and you can ride it, you can have fun with it, but just don't expect it to be anything marvelous. I'd say go for it, have fun with it. You may get tired of it at some point. You might not, but it is different. That's
grade it out of 10, Bagel. Give it a grade out of 10, darling.
Oh geez,
5. It's the middle of the road. It has no advantages and no disadvantages.
I give it about a 5 out of 10.
The only advantage.
Okay, there you go.
And just goes back to what I said. It's weird, and there are some people who like a weird thing. They like a weird dog. They like a weird car. They like a weird home.
Right.
They get the attention. Right. It's a topic. So
the weird factor. The weird factor of the MP3 is its strong suit. So if you like weird bikes, the MP3s are a great one for you to enjoy. And now, just a very quick note, he did make a typo and say the MP5.
Yeah.
There was never a Piaggio MP5 that left the factory, but I did know someone who put a toe pack onto an MP3. So it was kind of an MP5. And I actually rode it once. It was it was just almost unrideable. It was like having a sidecar on both sides. There was just enough clearance where both wheels did not ride on the ground, so you would tip kind of from side to side, back and forth.
Oh God!
It was just. I
like the sound of that.
It was one of the most ridiculous contraptions I've ever ridden. And unfortunately, it did not do well. It did severe damage to the drivetrain on that bike because of the added weight and I think some of the weird physics involved with the toe pack on a three-wheeled scooter. So,
well, there you go. Yeah. This is the time where we say, hey, thank you for sending in your emails. Thank you to our Patreon supporters who allow us to support projects like great. Rally for Rangers Film.
We love you.
Buying tickets. Tom, thank you for coming in for our show and making it around the mountain.
And thanks for spending your life.
When Emma couldn't do it.
Thanks for spending your life caring for animals and parks.
Yeah,
and
man.
Yeah, thank you guys for spending your lives giving away bags of dicks and
we're pretty good at that.
Giving us all smiles and just the wisdom, the sharing, the community. You guys bring it, and there's nothing else like it. So I'm just thrilled to be here. So glad to be back.
Tom, darling. Did Liza give you the warning about the diarrhea ingredient in the bags of dick?
Yes, and I already heard your story about you following you on the trail. So
he only found out after he ate the bag, though.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, don't eat them on the way home.
Okay.
Dicks are fun going in, but not fun going out.
You'll end up like the rhinoceros.
Let's shut this down.
Sorry, I brought that up again.
Hey, one more time. Come to our rally. the Misfits rally, April 21st to 24th. Go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. I haven't put the link there yet, but I'll update it. Breakingawaytrips.com. You will get the link, but you know what? You can find all the links, including the link to Rally for Rangers, in our show notes. There you go. Hey, next week, let's see if Emma can make it next week. This will be exciting because we're going to have more rain, and none of us are going to be riding, so we're all going to be really feeling what the rest of the country feels in the winter. Yes, we're going to be either a little more sympathetic or just crazy. So let's see if we can get through it. So big thanks to everybody. For all of our Patreon subscribers, $5 or more. A lot of you have used your coupon code to get your free t-shirt. It's new t-shirt time. If you haven't yet, you can it's not too late to become a supporter on Patreon for $5 or more and get a free t-shirt. I'm going to be ordering them soon. Also, I got some new stickers, and they're really cool too. I'm going to throw those in the box. So on that note, I think we're ready to get out of here. Thank you, everybody. This is Liza.
Stumpy John.
Tom Medema.
Craig.
Make a jam, son.
Bagel.
Emma, darling!
Yo, my God.
We're out of here.
Cool.
Go!